Detroit Den 313. Welcome back. Steve here. Unfortunately, flying solo. Um, Before I get into it, if you're here for some Detroit Lions content, some Detroit Lions information, let us be your go-to source. Hit that subscribe button, guys. And I know I'm asking you that when you guys are looking at the thumbnail, and you're looking at the title of this video, and it's crazy. And we haven't dispelled any rumors in a while, but I'm just going to show you guys this real quick. It's an article from Christopher Klein from Fansided. As it states, a Cowboys-Lions trade to add Jared Goff insurance into the Detroit Lions quarterback room. I only took this screenshot because I wanted to put Christopher Klein's name out there from Fansided because we're going to get into it. And I'll go through the article. I wasn't just going to put up something to let you guys read it. I'll break it down. It's basically saying that the Detroit Lions need to trade for Trey Lance. Trey Lance, if you're not familiar with him, he was a top 5 draft pick for the San Francisco 49ers a few years ago. They gave up everything but the kitchen sink to get him. He has not worked out in the NFL. Let's just be honest. Trey Lance he's making out with that title of bust. I think he was like the number 2 overall pick, if I'm not mistaken. It was top 2, top 3. I just don't understand why the Detroit Lions would do this trade. And again, this article came from Facebook, and I'm not very active on Facebook. I don't use it too much. But I get a lot of DMs on my Facebook from friends who send me stuff that they see from Lions fan pages or whatever they are. We have our own Lions fan page if you guys want to check that one out. Someone sent me this and said, "What do you think about this Trey Lance trade?" And I was just like, "What are you talking about, this Trey Lance trade? Like, what is this even coming from?" So they sent me the article, and I read the one that I just posted there, and I was just absolutely blown away. I just have zero, and I mean zero, interest in Trey Lance, who was drafted 3rd overall. I'm pulling it up here on my notes here. Trey Lance, 3rd overall from the San Francisco 49ers. And I remember they gave up like 2 or 3 first-round picks to move up to get Trey Lance. Didn't work out. So we know Jared Goff's our guy. That's locked in. That's a done deal. We know that. So like the article said, insurance for Jared Goff, assuming maybe he gets hurt or something. So we're going to talk a little bit about Hendon Hooker here, I suppose, because that's who Jared Goff's insurance is to me. If you've watched our show, if you're familiar with William and I, Will Ford, that is, if you're not familiar with our show, we've talked about Hendon Hooker, Jared Goff quite often. I would say maybe every couple of weeks we have to mention, something related to Hendon Hooker, who's not even taking a snap in the NFL. Will's on one side of the fence, I'm on the other, but we both agree that the talent is there. So let's talk about Trey Lance versus Hendon Hooker. Who would we rather have? For me, I have to take Trey Lance. Hear me out. I'm not saying I'm taking Trey Lance over Hendon Hooker at all, but let me just rephrase what I'm trying to say. Trey Lance has only started 3 or 4 games in the NFL. So he has tape over Hendon Hooker, and that's always been my argument of why I'm not ready to give Hendon Hooker the reins for the Detroit Lions. So Trey Lance has 3 or 4 nice little games of the NFL under his belt. Compared to Hendon Hooker, it's 3 or 4 more. I understand. So let's compare college tape. Hendon Hooker blows Trey Lance absolutely out of the water. He blows him out of the water. It's not even close. Like, we're talking Hendon Hooker, who was in the running for Heisman Trophy until he tore his knee against South Carolina his last year when he was with the Vols. Was absolutely dynamic to watch. Like, this kid was just throwing the football all over the field. Hendon Hooker, that is. Trey Lance, North Dakota State, not exactly playing against any, crazy competition, obviously, but obviously, some NFL scouts thought that he was going to be something because of how physical he was. Listen, Trey Lance is not even second on the Dallas Cowboys roster. The Dallas Cowboys prefer Cooper Rush over Trey Lance. Why would I put Trey Lance ahead of Hendon Hooker, who I think could be a good pro? I just need to see him on a football field. That's all I've ever said. So I guess Trey Lance has him beat in that area of getting on a football field 3 whole times in four seasons. Hendon Hooker will absolutely be quarterback 2. I trust our coaching staff to get them ready. I don't see that this trade for Trey Lance is even insurance. I think it's just absolutely nonsense. And like I said, we haven't done an episode like this in a while, but I felt like I needed to dispel this rumor I had 2 or 3 people send this to me in my DMs the other day, and I kind of just sat on it like there's no way. But as I thought about it, I was just like, Hendon Hooker is better than Trey Lance. Why would I trade for a third string quarterback? And also, let me just read it for you guys in this article here. What it goes into the Detroit Lions, like trade wise, and who would receive what. Obviously, the Detroit Lions would receive Trey Lance, and the Dallas Cowboys would get our 5th round pick in 2025 and a 2025 7th round pick. So I got to give up 2 picks for Trey Lance to come in and be quarterback 3. No thanks. Like I said, 0 interest in Trey Lance. 0. Here's what a better avenue I would say would be. You want insurance for Jared Goff? We can go that route. Okay. Hendon Hooker. Let's say something. God, please don't let this happen. Something happens to Jared Goff and Hendon Hooker has to take over. I'm nervous, but I understand that that's just how football works. So I do need some insurance for Hendon Hooker. I'll go out and I'll get a Ryan Tannehill, who's more experienced, and I would still take Ryan Tannehill over Trey Lance as well. So, we're just upgrading over Trey Lance nonstop. Like, I'm pretty sure Will has a young son who would be better than Trey Lance. Will Jr., that's what we call him, little Will. I would take him over Trey Lance. I have 0, and I mean 0 interest in adding Trey Lance to this depth chart, to this roster. Maybe the UFL, if the Michigan Panthers needed a quarterback. I don't even know who their quarterback is. I don't watch UFL football games. I just see some highlights of Jake Bates banging some fucking 70-yarders, which is something we're going to hopefully be able to talk about here in a couple weeks. But Trey Lance, absolutely 0 interest. He could be a free agent. I don't want to bring him to town. So if I want to add an insurance for Jared Goff and Hendon Hooker, I would look at someone like a Ryan Tannehill who's available. I would go that route. Ryan Tannehill's been to an AFC Championship game with the Titans. He's a more proven vet. He might not be a sexy Ferrari, but he might be able to come in and win you a game or 2. The Detroit Lions defense is absolutely nasty. You could kind of like what the 49ers are doing. Like, you could just throw a quarterback back there and have great success. We have the weapons. We have the offensive line. Let that defense be nasty, and quarterback wouldn't matter in this scenario if Jared Goff got hurt. And I don't want that to happen. But like I said, guys, if you look at the Dallas Cowboys depth chart, which I looked up before I got on here to have some facts, they have Cooper Rush listed as their number 2 quarterback. So they don't even believe Trey Lance is the best option for them if Dak Prescott got hurt. So I'm definitely just not even flirting with this idea. And not to mention, Trey Lance is also like pretty much a rental. He's a free agent after this upcoming season. So trading two draft picks for Trey Lance, who I don't even want to see on a football field and should probably be bagging groceries somewhere. No, thank you. So guys, leave it in the comments. For me, I don't know if there's any other way I can say I'm not interested in Trey Lance, but it's literally just, I just have 0 desire to even consider him being a member of the Detroit Lions. So leave it in the comments. Let me know how you feel about this. If you want to check out that article from Christopher Klein, who someone said, hey man, yeah, it'd be a good idea if you had a job where you talk about sports, because I that one just makes no sense to me. All the shade in the world when it comes to that. So leave some comments down below, hit that like button. If you're new here, stick around, subscribe. We'll be back later with another show.